Over the last few days, we've seen intense rainfall with thunderstorms over northern Queensland. Today I'm joined by one of our flood forecasters, Charlotte, to talk through what we've seen and what we can expect over the coming days. And Charlotte, perhaps you could start off by telling us how this event is comparing to what we saw this time last year.
Yep, so this time last year we had Tropical Cyclone Trevor and a monsoon trough. They brought significant widespread flooding and record-breaking rainfall to the Gulf region. That's not certainly what we're expecting this time. Certainly some river level rises which are already underway and some significant rainfall still to come.
Yeah, so not expecting the same widespread devastation, but it is still a dynamic situation and still dangerous. If we have a look at what we have recorded over the last 24 hours, we can see we've had widespread cloud developing across northern Queensland, partially from this low pressure system and partially from winds that are converging on around the Townsville area. As we can see, 421 millimetres recorded at Ayr. That's led to flooding through that region, and also 154 millimetres at Normanton from that low pressure system that's quite slow moving. So Charlotte, tell us about the flooding that we're seeing at the moment.
So the Gulf is really our key area of concern at the moment. We do have a moderate flood warning out there for the upper Flinders River, that's around the Richmond area. We're expecting those moderate flows to really pass through the Flinders River, cutting out some important road routes and causing some buildings to be flooded. In the surrounding catchments of the Gulf, we do have some minor flood warnings where we'd expect to see certainly some frustrations with low-lying bridges cut and some minor roads cut. But it's a really developing situation. We're going to keep an eye on the rainfall over the coming days and issue warnings updated as needed.
And in the Townsville area, we've seen the flash flooding from that really intense heavy rainfall. What about riverine flooding in that area?
So we do have a flood watch out for that area at the moment. That's to cover the next 1 to 4 days where we would expect to see some flooding. But we currently also have a couple of minor flood warnings out for the region. We'll be updating those as and when required.
We also have a severe weather warning out for the Gulf region. That's for damaging winds and also heavy rain, which may lead to flash flooding. Tell us the difference between flash flooding and riverine flooding.
So with flash flooding, that's really where we'd expect to see an intense burst of rainfall and river level rises within 6 hours of that intense rainfall. Riverine flooding is more prolonged, heavy rainfall over the land and over the rivers, where we'd see those river levels rise and the communities around the banks of the river really impacted.
So now let's take a look forward to what we can expect over the next few days. Still expecting some heavy rainfall about the east coast, but we'll really be watching how this low pressure system develops and where it moves. We can see it is expected to move towards the southwest, but still areas of northwestern Queensland could experience between 100 and 200 millimetres and possibly even some isolated pockets of up to 300 millimetres of rain over the coming days. It'll be dragging that moisture towards the south, towards central Australia. So we'll be continuing to watch the situation, and while we're not expecting the same level of devastation as we saw this time last year, this is still dangerous with more rain on the way. Our forecasts and warnings are updated regularly, so please keep checking in for the most up-to-date information and follow all advice from local emergency services.